Polish President Nawrocki has described the recent drone incidents as an unprecedented moment in NATO's history and announced a Security Council meeting within 48 hours to address the situation. Poland confirmed its forces shot down Russian drones over its airspace, marking the first direct engagement with Russian assets since 2022 and the conflict began in Ukraine. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said Poland's airspace was violated by a huge number of drones, which the military described as unprecedented and an act of aggression. Let's in fact listen in to Tusk's statements.
Do naruszenia przestrzeni powietrznej, polskiej przestrzeni powietrznej przez dużą liczbę rosyjskich dronów. Te drony, które stanowiły bezpośrednie zagrożenie, zostały zestrzelone. Mamy do czynienia najprawdopodobniej z prowokacją na dużą skalę, ale równocześnie jesteśmy w konsultacjach z naszymi sojusznikami. Jestem w stałym kontakcie z sekretarzem generalnym NATO, tak aby przez najbliższych kilka godzin, dni i w dalszej przyszłości równie skutecznie jak dzisiaj w nocy działać w przypadku tego typu zagrożeń. Jest to pierwszy przypadek, kiedy doszło do zestrzelenia rosyjskich dronów nad terytorium państwa NATO i dlatego wszyscy nasi sojusznicy sytuację traktują bardzo poważnie. Nie odnotowaliśmy żadnych ofiar.
Meanwhile, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization says it is not treating the drone incursion into Poland as a Russian attack, despite early signs pointing to an intentional move. According to reports, 6 to 10 Russian drones crossed into Polish airspace overnight. For the first time, NATO aircraft engaged potential threats inside Allied skies. Polish F-16S, Dutch 35S and Italian AWACS surveillance planes and NATO refueling aircraft all took part in the operation. NATO's Patriot defence systems picked up the drones on radar but did not fire. The North Atlantic Council is meeting today to review the response. Secretary-General Mark Rutte is in touch with Polish leaders, with NATO consulting closely with Warsaw. Glenn joins us once again. Glenn, NATO says it is not treating this as a Russian attack, even though early signs suggest that these multiple drone incursions were intentional. Is the alliance downplaying to avoid risk of escalation?
Well, I think it's a bit silly because, I mean, it's clearly an attack. And all that does, their words do, is make Putin escalate further because he realizes that NATO is weak. And the only thing that will stop Putin is a punch on the nose. And if NATO is not going to punch him on the nose and says, oh, don't worry, it's not an attack, then he's going to do it again. And he'll do it again, maybe harder and maybe somewhere else. So what they're saying is dangerous. I'm sorry, but it's really, really dangerous and does nothing for our security at all. So I worry about this.
What do you think Russia is viewing this as? Obviously, we've said that NATO hasn't viewed this as an attack, but we can now say that we have 90, Tusk said there was 19 drone incursions into Polish airspace overnight. How do you think that the Kremlin is viewing the reaction from both Poland and NATO, Glenn?
Well, I think that, I mean, putting 19 drones in, that is clearly an attack, and what they're looking at to see is how do we deal with 19, and do they need to put more in if they're going to attack properly, or you know, can we actually deal with 19 drones? And they were not all shot down, so Russia will see this as probably that they're going to need to put more in next time, but they're going to be laughing at NATO's words. I'm sorry, but you know, this is an attack. It's a serious attack, and to suggest that anything otherwise is just foolish. So the Russians will be laughing today, and they'll be rubbing their hands with glee and trying to work out how to do something a bit bigger next time, which also will probably NATO will say is not an attack.
Okay, Glenn, do stay